What's up? Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, my friends in Europe. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Welcome to the Ticker Highlight Show. Reminder: me and my three compatriots get together every weekend, every Monday, and share our kind of best stock idea and one to pass on, and then we develop a trade. I would like to, so we're going to dig into that in a second. But before that, Hans, the master of Turbo Income, he is going live today for Turbo Income today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have not taken advantage of that 3-year offer, today he goes live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, he is going to be doing your 7 classes in an hour, Cliff's Notes of maximizing Turbo Income to really get you on your feet. So the time to strike is now. So if you've been thinking about joining Turbo Income and it's got a 91% win rate, I don't know why you wouldn't be thinking about it. What I would invite you to do is click this link or call my team 888-872-3301. If you're an existing OptionPit member, call and see if you've got credits. You probably do. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's introduce our panel. I am joined by Leisha J. Leslie. She is the queen of the candles, my queen and yours.
Good morning.
Good morning, Leisha. I hope you had a great weekend. Sorry, I know TCU did not, but it's all right. Andrew, I am joined by Andrew T. Giovinazzi, T for Too Much Fun. He is our director of education. He's the president of OptionPit. Happy Monday, Andrew.
Happy Monday to you, Mark.
Good to see you. And then, of course, the Turbo Income man himself. He is Hans Albrecht. Hans, good morning. Happy Monday. I hope your weekend was great.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it was exciting. I put out a whole bunch of updates for new members. We're getting excited. This is going to be an incredible couple of years of markets, an incredible opportunity. And Turbo Income is the Swiss Army knife of strategies. And you've got something that conforms to the different environments that we can move into and out of. And that's what I really love about it. When it's yellow, let it mellow. And when it's green, let's turbocharge that. So we're really excited.
All right. Well, that's great. So again, if you want to join Hans and you're a member, give our team a call, 888-872-3301. There may be credits. And if you're not, take advantage of that 3-year offer because that is going the way of the dodo this week, just like the 1-year offer already did. And if you're an annual member, you should reach out about upgrading your subscription from the 1-year to the 3-year to take advantage of this ridiculous offer. Speaking of ridiculous, how about this market? Friday, down 90 to up 30 to close essentially flat on the day. And they kind of did a mini version of the same thing. Opened down, a little bit of a runner. We're kind of hanging out right above the 50. That seems to be have been support the last 2 days. I mean, if you look at yesterday or Friday, we went way through it and then bounced back above. Today, we give it a little kiss, bounce back above as well. Same on the 7th. Same the week of October 10th when we had that really bad Monday. In fact, you got to go back to, my gosh, you got to go back to May 1st to see the last time the S&P 500 was below its 50-day moving average on the close. It's been below it, but this is but you have to go back to May 1st to see the S&P actually below that level on a close. Pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular run the S&P has had. VIX kind of tells a different story. Still hanging out around 20. We've got some big, huge earnings announcements, but the front end of the curve is in backwardation. just November to December. November rolls off in 2 days. So it's not exactly like normal backwardation, but just something to be aware of. This is a VIX term structure that says wild moves. And I would say based on the last week, those wild moves have been coming, needless to say. So I want to start out with my one that I think it's time to maybe pare down, and that's my friend Apple. That's been the flight to safety. But even Warren has been reducing his exposure as he rides off into the sunset. And I'm sorry, but did anybody see the new Apple accessory, the Apple pouch for your phone? It is legitimately
Silly.
the least creative, dumbest, most mind-boggling. Why would you put a press release out about this thing?
Do you have a picture of it, Mark?
Tesla shorts.
Is it for men and women? Is it unisex?
Oh, of course it's unisex.
Is it
All
sold
right.
out?
It can be a phone purse or a phone merce. Either way.
A merce.
Or a jock strap?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Maybe an Apple jock strap. I think that's next.
Oh, that's funny, Hans.
But it's sold
So-
out. Didn't it sell out?
Is that really what it is?
it is the dumbest thing on the planet. The funny thing is like, I know they're going to sell initially a bunch of these, but like I bought my wife one of those phone purses 5 years ago, and there's nothing special about it. It's ridiculous. Like I said, dumbest thing I've seen since Tesla short shorts, which also sold out. So anyway, if Apple's making a big hullabaloo about that, I know there's talk of a flip phone. I know 17 sales have been okay, but when I look at the fundamentals here, a 37 PE makes 0 sense to me. $4 trillion market cap. Like I said, you're not going to get your shirt handed to you owning Apple, but this is just in a new phase of its life, and I think it's probably due for a little bit of selling. Now my one to buy, and I know we've done this one recently, but it's Amazon. Amazon is now carrying a lower price earnings ratio than Apple. One of these companies has sales growth. One of these companies does not.
Yeah, the Sesame
Hey, I
Street's
bought
not
something
there.
on Amazon Prime finally. I used my
look
wife's
at you.
Amazon Prime account.
I mean, folks, if there's ever been anything more bullish for Amazon, it's that Andrew figured out how to use it. So
I ordered something. I was pretty proud of myself.
look at you, Andrew. I mean,
Buy
Not all heroes
Amazon
wear
with
capes,
both
Andrew.
hands.
not all heroes wear capes. So
They do wear the iPhone purse though.
They
yes.
do wear the iPhone purse.
All heroes wear that now.
So I think Amazon, it just touched its 50, had those blowout earnings, and is basically, I'm going to ask Alicia to kind of tell me whether this qualifies as filling the gap or not, but it's, kind of feels like it fell right back to where it was before the earnings. So I'm wondering whether this one, now that it's kind of pulled back, is ready for a little bit of a pop. So there you have it, folks. I want to pare down Apple and buy more Amazon. So let's kick it
Pretty
over.
Funny comment in the chat. Borat would wear one of those. We've got funny members and visitors.
Indeed. So let's we're gonna let's kick it over to Hans, who again is going to be live at Turbo Income at 1 p.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So, we're going to be closing up shop on that 3-year offer. And if you haven't taken it yet, this is your chance. And again, if you're an annual member, you can call my team 888-872-3301 and they'll see if you've got credit. So, Hans, one to love and one to hate. What do you got for the man that's great?
Okay, absolutely. So, we are live, locked and loaded for 1 p.m. So last chance, jump in there, guys. We've been playing all the good ones. So one to love, I'm going to pick Nebius, right? So this is one of the data center plays. This is a little bit going out on a limb here because data center has not been in. That has not been in. You look at the CoreWeaves, the Nebius. You look at even some of the sort of power gen names like Iron and Cypher and a few of those. It's just been a difficult area lately for a number of reasons that we don't have to get into, but it's far from over, right? So you often hear me say that AI is far from over, and now we've had about a half price sale in some names. And this is the one. So just a little background here. When I talked about Nebius months ago, I said, this is my pick over CoreWeave. In that time, even after this sell-off, it has doubled and CoreWeave has lost about 35%. So the gap is not as wide, but there's something about CoreWeave just rubs me the wrong way. There's some weird stuff going on. It's the circularity and all that stuff. It's the weird stuff. But what I like about Nebius is it's the real deal. They just signed another deal with Meta for $3 billion, not a massive amount, but a massive deal with Microsoft a couple of months ago for almost $20 billion, $18 billion. This is the real deal, and it's positioned in Europe. If you look at where they've been building data centers, the US has tons. They're going to have more. The other parts of the world, especially Europe, are way behind the curve. So I like this idea that CapEx, you can't just kind of buy anything these days, but if you focus in on where the demand is going to be, and regions are a little bit protective of their regions, so they want their companies to be helping to build this out. I like that. Very nice infrastructure play, and the demand is real. It's not going away, so I kind of like that play. Now, one to leave is going to be another kind of, nothing against nuclear, but right now we started to see some of these reports of chips that are actually much, much more efficient, 100 times more efficient. What does that mean? Well, power, that speaks to the power narrative. Now, there's reality and there's the story. The story is negative enough, or potentially negative enough, that it changes the narrative a little bit, right? Stocks are about narratives. The reality of it is that there is going to be a shortage of power. So at some point, you look at what everybody's saying. They've run out of capacity. Nebius said it. We would sell more, but we can't. We don't have the capacity. So this is nowhere near. And then there's something called Jevons paradox, which is, you kind of get prices down, you make things more efficient, you make them more accessible, and demand just explodes anyway. So I think it's still a great space to be. But it puts nuclear a little bit on its back heel a little bit, just for the moment, until I see a bit more of a sell-off in these names, because they're very, very expensive, and they're more of a show me later kind of power play versus, say, nat gas and some of the things that I think we're going to sort of move towards, which is going to be a show me now. What can we do to address these problems right now?
What's the stack?
Yeah,
Oklo. Did I not mention it? Sorry, Oklo. Okay.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I was literally typing in Oklo as you were about to say it. Yeah. I had a feeling that was it. But yeah, I'm with you. Oklo in particular got, I think, way overdone, and even with the sell-off it's had, you compare it to like NewScale.
So you're no-go on Oklo.
No-go Oklo.
Okay.
You compare it to NewScale over the last 6 months, and it's still up 150%, and SMR is down 10. So there is plenty of, and even going back a year, it's up 386%. SMR is down 20. On the 2-year, things line up a little more. 780 versus 873. And for a period, SMR was absolutely outperforming. Oklo has caught up. So I'm with you. I think if there's room for this to pull back before we see any real rally here in Oklo. All right, let's shift gears to our Amazon our official Amazon MC. He is Andrew T. Giovinazzi. Andrew, what do you got for us today?
Well, I've got a one to a not love and love. What do you want first? The not love one?
It is up to you.
I'm gonna do the not love. My not love stock, although I am now officially out of this name. It was a great stock for me this year. And I sold the last of my shares, I think last week. Palantir, great company, great growth. I just, I've been doing this so long, I can't. It's hard for me to hold the stock with that kind of price to sales number. And this was really after the first earnings that you didn't really get that kind of pop, right? It rallied into earnings, and after it was like, eh. And since then, it's just been kind of sad. I don't think the stock's going to zero. I just think it's, I think it's going to have a multiple shrink. It happens with all stocks, basically. Maybe, I guess, except for the exception of Apple, which somehow is defying imagination. But I think Palantir is just a stock. It's had such okay, and also take a look at this year, okay?
Its sales.
Its stock is down 20% from here. It's still going to be up 100 and something percent over the last year.
Its sales to equity ratio is 70.
Yeah. So the old metric used to be, okay, things get around 10x and it's starting to get dodgy, right? And this is 70x. Apple's trading almost at what? A 10x sales. So WACE Burry says it's worth 50. I'm not going total Kool-Aid here. It's just not a stock I would be long. I think looking for some junk puts, maybe some 150s, 160s, something around those, to the end. I think there's going to be some profit taking, basically. Also, another thing, too, is post earnings. This is kind of the tail of the tape a little bit. This red line here is implied volatility, 30-day vol. Post earnings, when they like the stock, generally these vols sort of drop, stock drifts up, everybody's happy, and you get kind of like that earnings continuation. Right now, that number is like, I don't like seeing the vol go up because in my head, traders were not, they did not unload what they had basically, and they're now coming back in for more options. Generally, that's not upside. So it's generally downside. So that's how I would see. That's the one I don't like. The second stock I don't like right now either is VXX, although it is down a little bit from the peak last week. But I think volatility is in no man's land. And I'm basically... I'm actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm neutral on VXX right now. So I'm changing my tune a little bit. That was my second shorty.
Okay.
Because basically the rule with vol is if it's going up and you don't know why, listen to the vol and not your own nose. So now even though we're going into the holiday season, VIX is still going up and that's what it's doing. On the flip side, talk about stocks that are not trading 40 times sales or 70 times sales. Biotech. So for those of you Flash 7, you're going to see more Maha style stocks. So one was the the food names coming back. The second is going to be Trump made a deal with the drug companies. There's the Trump RX now. You don't hear RFK banging on the drug companies as much anymore. And I'm just saying, so if you look at the last year here, okay, take a look. Okay, so for almost most of the year, drug stocks were down, and then now they've taken off. I've done a fairly big switch in my portfolio, getting out of some of the bigger tech. I'm out of most of my, like, I would say Bitcoin adjacent, chip adjacent style stuff. I don't have any Palantir anymore. It was a great run. And I moved all into biotech, mostly just the big ETFs and about 4 or 5 stocks. One, valuation, and AI is going to change. In my view, it's going to change how these companies produce drugs in the future. So I think, and they're still not back to their COVID era highs, right? So if you go way back, XBI was 170. So I like biotech. I like certain biotech names, but I think XBI is just an easy one that I feel is going to roll all the way till the end of the year. And again, I think, I would say vol is still fairly reasonable in here. Anyway, and that's what we got going here.
There you have it. XBI.
There's JFK, you know whating now. Oh my gosh. So
all right.
Anyway, those are my and I think that's where money's going to go, looking for value here into the end of the year.
All right. So now let's kick it over to Alicia. She's going to share her charts and tell us what she was looking at, and then maybe pull a couple of her favorites from the stocks that we threw out there today, folks. So let's dig in. It looks like we're starting with Affirm.
My one to love, I wrote it here, so I thought it was breaking out, and it failed. This is called a little bull trap here, clearing and closing above a moving average or a support resistance level gives you the signal, okay, this has some momentum, it's going to rally. This failed. It did not rally. It's now down to some lower support. So Affirm failed. ARM did trade down to where I called it. This was bear flagging here. I called it to trade down to the 200-day. Now it's got some legs, and I think it's going to rally. So my 2 stocks are not in the running. Apple, I would wait on. It's sitting at some pretty significant support here. I think there's a better option. Amazon, I would also wait on. It's going to bottom out a little bit here. Let it find its bottom. Show me a change in trend, and then we hop in long on Amazon. I think you're close. NBIS is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's traded down to support level here. We have a beautiful inverted hammer, which is a signal of this change in this downtrend. We're clearing this old support now resistance. I think this can trade 96 to, 103. The RSI has held the 30 level and curling bullish as MACD is trying to curl bullish. This is my favorite to go long. Oklo, I don't think we want to go short there. It's sitting on some support here. I think the NBS trades better. And I like your XBI, Andrew. And I do have it up against a little resistance here, but yes, I agree. This looks higher. Yeah, definitely higher, longer term. I like this one, 125 to 135. I think that's a great choice. And what was your short, Andrew? I forget now already.
PLTR. Palantir.
It's not my favorite.
Okay.
I have a little bit of a possible change in trend here. I think this may wallow here for a while. So NBIS is my favorite.
That was actually my favorite as well. So you and I are simpatico in that respect. Options are still pretty expensive. And we do have NVIDIA earnings this week that could be interesting. But the stock has dropped since April, since the first day of November. This thing topped out at $134.93. It bottomed out at $82. So in the course of about 2 weeks, it's dropped about a little over $50.
Yeah.
So I think there's some opportunity here. I'm looking at next week's 90 calls. They're $6.50. The stock is $89.29. So we'd be targeting about $96 in the trade. These are the NBIS. Here, I'm gonna November 28th. 90 calls for less than 650. Be patient here. This thing does move around a lot. So, there's, as I like to say, let the trade come to you instead of trying to force the trade. But I am looking at the NBIS. November 28th. Oh, oops. I'm looking at the November 28th, 2025, 90 calls for less than $6.50. Again, you can let that come to you. I don't think you have to rush anything. Market's kind of all over the place this morning. All right, everybody. So we are up against it. I would remind you guys one more time. This is your last chance to join Hans before his session today and his kickoff tomorrow. If you're interested in a payment plan on the 3-year, or to see if you've got credits, give my team a call. Give my team a call, 888-872-3301. That is 888-872-3301. Thank you for that. Gotta fix one thing and a thing, and there is the trade, and there I've dropped it in chat. All right, so that's 888-872-3301. All right, everybody. For the team, that is Andrew T. Giovinazzi, Hans Albrecht, our turbo income specialist, and of course, Lisa J. Leslie, the queen. I'm Mark Sebastian, your only option. Go first place Bears. Have a good one.
The Bears are in first place.
Yeah.
Hey, way to go, Mark. That'll make you happy.
Woo!
The Bears.
Bears.